Well, if you're thinking about retiring anytime soon, one thing on your mind might be inflation. How big an effect does that have on retirees? And joining us now to talk about that, Dennis Fagan from Fagan Associates. And Dennis, great to see you.
Good to see you, Liz.
All right, how about this? I mean, I don't know if it's enough to stop people cold, but it's got to be sort of in the back of their mind. How am I going to handle any adjustments in what my income is worth?
Well, I think what's interesting, Liz, is traditional retirement planning will assume that your cost of living is going to go up about the rate of the consumer price index, retail inflation. Let's say that's 2 or 3% a year. But there's been recent studies, and it's a little bit flies in the face of the traditional thinking, that your spending in retirement doesn't increase like you might think. For instance, spending on apparel goes down, travel goes down, housing goes down, food and drink goes down. So certain things go down in cost just because you're doing less. And if you think anecdotally of your own situation, I can think of mine where you have, a parent pass away or those parents exceed the age of 80, 82, 83, you just tend to slow down. So I think when you plan for retirement, you have to take your lifestyle into consideration and also, how you're going to spend your money. And I don't think inflation is as big of an issue as it's portrayed either, in the media or in the industry.
Boy, that's really interesting, too, when you think about it, because while you might rev up immediately after retiring, if you're still fairly young, over time you do have to slow down.
And everybody's spending patterns are different. Everybody has different costs for medical that they have to take into consideration. Some have coverage for life. But it is interesting to note that there's probably you spend half of the money in travel after 80 that you did prior to 80. Apparel and the things are almost cut in half. The biggest two inflationary expenditures would be health care, which you have when you retire, but also education, and you don't have that because your kids are grown. So it's just something to take into consideration when considering retire.
All right, very interesting. Thank you so much for your insight into that, and we're going to